What's on the Buccos schedule? Well, the Los Angeles Dodgers in town for a 4-game series. Tonight it's Game 3. The Buccos winning the opening game of the series. Took a drubbing last night, 10-3. So time to root on the Buccos tonight with Paul Mahalem on the hill. See if the Bucs can't bounce back. Greg Brown along with Bob Walk. The Pirates, tough news today. They found out that Neil Walker is not going to be able to play. He was scratched moments ago. The Pirates cleanup hitter and second baseman will not be in the lineup for the first time all year because of flu-like symptoms. And Clint Hurdle has decided to sit tonight anyway. Jose Tabata, so Xavier Paul in the lineup in left field. Meanwhile, the center fielder, we know who that will be, Bob. It's Andrew McCutchen, and he seems to be coming along just fine right now.
It looks like he's starting to get that swing back for sure. Last night, he was just hammering the ball, really getting the barrel of the bat to it, and getting a little confidence too. Watch his reaction to that first home run he hit. He knew it was gone. When do you ever see him do that? He never does that. Watch him again. Second home run. Yeah, he knows he's got that one too. Watched it a little bit. A bomb all the way to the back wall of the bullpen. He really is starting to come on right now. You can see that confidence growing.
PNC achievement for the achiever in you. 3 for 4 last night, hitting .325 his last 10 games. So good stuff from Andrew McCutchen and really good stuff from Paul Mahalem for the most part this season. I guess, Bob, try and limit the damage for him the first couple of innings.
Yeah, he's had some problems the first couple innings, but the key to that is just make it one run. Stay out of any kind of big innings. Don't allow the other team to put those crooked numbers up there. If you're going to run into some trouble, just one run here, one run there. That's not going to beat you.
Paul Mahalem on the hill against right-hander Hiroki Kuroda. That's the pitching matchup. Speaking of pitching, the Pirates bullpen, a change. Jose Escanio returns to the club. And you're going to watch it all coming up on Root Sports.
Is sponsored by Barrel Automotive. Barrel.com. Definitely worth the click. Let's go Bucs!
Well, Paul Mahalem makes his way in from the bullpen. A souvenir for a young fan. As he makes his way to the hill. Let's check out the Dodgers lineup. Don Mattingly, their skipper, has Jamie Carroll at short. He's been a thorn in the Pirates' side the first 2 games of the series. Ivan De Jesus takes over at second base. Andre Ethier in right. Matt Kemp is the cleanup hitter with Juan Uribe at third base batting 5th. And it's Rod Barajas, the catcher. Jerry Sands in left. Russ Mitchell at first base. And Kuroda on the hill.
Take a look at Paul Mahomes' numbers on the season. Everything really is in pretty good shape right there. Just a .247 opponent batting average. It's not too shabby. ERA in the 3s. The only thing that you don't like is that 1-4 record, but you got to have runs to get wins. And you can't control that as a pitcher.
His earned run average here at home in his 4 starts, just .270. In his career, he has been a better pitcher in terms of earned run average here in his home ballpark. Strike 1 on Carroll. 10th in the league in hitting now is this 37-year-old veteran, Jamie Carroll. What a job he's done filling in for Rafael Furcal. One ball, one strike.
Carroll's a pleasure to watch play the game, too. He does it the right way, always hustling all over the place. Takes nothing for granted. He gets a single. It could be a routine ground ball single to left. He's going to go hard in the first base, make a hard turn.
Past Tim Wallach, third base coach for the Dodgers.
He was a hitting coach for the Dodgers for a few years, too.
Jim Tracy wanted to bring him over to Pittsburgh when Tracy got the Pirates job. But Wallach did not want to move east away from his family. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Davey Lopes, second base at longtime second baseman for the Dodgers, now their first base coach.
A great base stealer. He always had a very high success ratio. Tough to throw out.
Hung-Chi Kuo placed on the disabled list today with anxiety disorder. They have recalled Scott Elbert from their minor league, so the lefty Kuo has been placed on the DL. And 3-2 on Jamie Carroll. He's this kind of reminds me anyway of one of those pesky guys, tough to get out. David Eckstein.
Yeah, that's what I was
kind of player.
Yeah, Eckstein is a good call.
Still 3-2 on Carroll. Drafted by the Montreal Expos back in 1996, while Paul Maholm, this 28-year-old, makes his 167th career start.
I don't think he's ever beat the Dodgers, has he?
I don't think so. He's 0-4 actually in 7 starts against LA.
Let's check that box.
Ground ball, and it's Brandon Wood at short. 6-3 on the putout. So Carroll along at bat, but it ends with a ground out. Check out the Barrel Automotive League leader stats. Speaking of ground balls, Paul Maholm gets a lot. 67.3%. Most among lefties in the National League. Barrel.com, definitely worth the click.
And most of those will be over on the left side of the infield, being a left-handed pitcher. So the shortstop, third baseman, they get a lot of action when Paul's on the mound.
Ivan De Jesus, second baseman, son of the former Dodger, former Philly, former Cub, Ivan De Jesus. Bounce toward third. It's Alvarez there, gunning it to first. So you've seen the left side of the infield with Brandon Wood at short, Pedro Alvarez at third. And for the first time in his Pirates career, Ronnie Cedeno starts a game at second. Lyle Overbay at first. Xavier Paul in left. Andrew McCutcheon in center. Garrett Jones in right. And Chris Snyder behind the plate.
Well, it is odd looking down there and seeing Ronnie at second base.
He was with the Mariners when he started that game June 24th against the Padres. Tabata sits. Worked with him this afternoon. Clint Hurdle, Greg Ritchie, the hitting coach, Luis Silverio, the first base coach. 0-1 the count on Andre Ethier, second in the league in hitting at .369. Xavier Paul, 4 starts with the Bucks, done a nice job. And of course, the slumping Tabata is the reason he sits tonight. Xavier Paul, the former Dodger. Real nice pickup.
He's been very valuable in a couple of different reasons. Of course, the hitting stats there, that's one, but he is giving the Pirates speed off the bench, somebody that can play center field when McCutchen takes a day off.
Came along at the right time. And good work there from Paul Mahala. 2 ground ball outs and a strikeout of Ethier. Half inning, Dodgers nothing, Buccos coming to bat. Against Hiroki Kuroda. Looks like this. It's brought to you by Toyota moving forward. Andrew McCutchen will be stepping in shortly. Then Xavier Paul and Garrett Jones. Lyle Overbay was hitting 5th behind Neil Walker, but Walker scratched with flu-like symptoms, so Clint Hurdle moves him up to the cleanup spot. Then Chris Snyder, Pedro Alvarez, Brandon Wood at short. Ronnie Cedeno moves from short to second, and Paul Mahalam on the hill.
You see Kuroda's numbers, not too bad. Where he has run into problems this year has been the extra base hits and the long balls. Big jump in the opposition's slugging percentage against Kuroda compared to his first 3 years as a Dodger.
That's really amazing. We look at giving up 7 home runs already this season.
And I was looking at you see the defense that's behind him. I was looking at his splits. And when he goes 1-0 and 2-0, he just gets hammered. So the key tonight, if you can, be patient and see if he falls behind you, because I mean it's the difference. And what happens, say, when he falls behind 2-0, it's just amazing. The slugging percentage was, or the OPS number was like 1,400, something like that. I mean, off the charts. He has really struggled when he's behind in the count.
Here's a guy who's homered in back-to-back at-bats. He takes a strike. McCutchen, 7 home runs now on the year. 2 solo shots last night. 3rd career multi-homer game.
And normally when he hits a home run, you don't really notice it by watching his swing. Last night, both the balls he hit out, you could see he knew he got them.
One ball, 1 strike on McCutchen. And he checks and takes in. 10 walks for Kuroda in 46 innings. And Bob mentioned the home runs. 7 already this season. He gave up 15 all of last year in 196 innings. A total of 15 homers. But he's given up 7 in his first 7 starts. Big cut and a miss, 2-2.
Little slider, range resources strike zone. Say it was a perfect spot. Just off the corner. Right on the corner. Same pitch. Kutch stays alive, gets a piece of it.
So he has 7 home runs, 19 RBIs this season. He hit 16 last year, drove in 56 in his first full year in the majors. Enjoying the Allegheny and the weather. Beautiful day in the Berg. 79 degrees at game time. Final game of the series tomorrow. McCutchen down on strikes.
Having a hard time with that little breaking ball. A couple of swings and misses, and that one out of the zone. Yep. Range Resources strike zone says that one was going to be a ball. You see the dot on that pitch as it was going in. And the AGH cam shows that the swing was a good 4 or 5 inches off the ball.
One ball, no strikes on Xavier Paul. Showed bunt.
Everybody very deep on that right side. I think he was going to try and pull that one along with him.
Still thinking about it. 2 balls, no strikes.
De Jesus and Mitchell, they're back a long ways. It'd be tough for them to do anything about a bunt if you can get it by Kuroda.
How about this line drive deep to right field and at the wall and caught at the base of the wall by Ethier. Just not enough for Paul.
Looked good coming off the bat. Got out there and dived a little bit. Must have got that off the end some. Yeah, I believe it is. That's off the end of the bat just enough to hold it up. Normally when they have that trajectory, that means trouble.
Ethier makes the play at the base of the wall and right. A strikeout, a fly out, and now Garrett Jones. You wonder what goes through Kuroda's mind when he sees a swing like that. He's given up 7 dingers already.
Well, especially to that part of the ballpark.
Yeah,
this is
the short porch and right.
Yeah, this is pitcher friendly, except right, the straightaway right field and down that line. There you have to be concerned a little bit. And I'm sure in his mind he was thinking, oh no, not here in the first inning.
One ball, one strike on Jones. 6 home runs for him. And they have the shift on. He's seen that a lot most of this season. Two and one. Fouled off to the left. Well, the count 2-2 on Garrett Jones. He's at .322 the last 3 weeks of the season. Off to a good start the first 8 games this month. His batting average .345 in the first 6 innings of those games. How about that?
They're in play.
Yeah.
Doing a little grazing out there. Get that grass a little shorter.
Well, Bob, normally anytime there's any object on the field, a wrapper, obviously a baseball, but just about anything that gets on that field, the umpires call timeout and have it removed.
Cats.
Cats, we've seen that. Yeah. We've seen both. We saw dogs in, where was that? San Juan, right?
Oh, yeah. I always remember that one. Dog in left field.
Still 3-2.
I think if you have wings,
you're allowed to stay in play.
Yeah, you can do it.
Jim Reynolds at home plate. Mike DeMiro, first base umpire. Andy Fletcher at second. Crew chief is Tim Welke. He's at third. His call. Stays 3-2. It's hilarious. They're bothered by nothing. Yeah, I know. I was waiting for somebody to use that line. FOWL, foul territory. He's out of play. That's Blas's view right there. Hanging right on the fence.
Oh, where's that dove at? I thought it was on the. Where is that, Greg? Is that right? Oh, I see him. He's right in front of us. Yeah. Well, we're going to settle in here and pull up a chair, watch the ball game.
Bird's eye view. There's the foul line.
Right on the chalk.
This is not the last time you'll see that shot or us talking about it. Oh, somebody made a nice grab.
Yeah. Right in the front row.
Nicely done. Garrett Jones battles Kuroda here. Still 3-2. Jones 4 for 9 with a home run in his career against Kuroda.
We're running out of white dots. Our range resources strike zone's getting a little full.
Kuroda finally wins out on the 11th pitch of that at bat. Strikeout. 1, 2, 3 go the Buccos. We played one. Dodgers and Pirates 0-0. This season, subscribe to MLB.tv. See every Pirates game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Pirates.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Well, at least they moved.
How beautiful are those birds? Those are just gorgeous.
And they moved out right into left field. They have a better view now.
It's like they're on a date. You know, going to the ball game.
Yep.
Got some good seats. Keeping an eye on Paul, though.
Yeah.
Xavier Paul.
Kemp. Strike one.
He's out in left field. They got their eye on him.
Kemp hit the 3-run homer that made it 4-0 in the 6th inning following the RBI single by Ethier last night. Well, how quickly that game turned. 0-2 on the center fielder Matt Kemp.
Quite the pitcher's duel we had going for a while. It was.
Kevin Correa right there, matched with Ted Lilly, 0s through 5.
Early on, it was better than the pitching duel they had in Florida last night, which everybody was talking about.
Halladay against Johnson.
But things did, it was 2 different games, the last half and the first half.
Correa retired the first 2 men easily, and then there was Jamie Carroll, the pesky Jamie Carroll, who I think now has 8 hits and about 15 career at bats against Correa now. Then Aaron Miles dropped down that bunt right along the third baseline. He said, I saw the third baseman playing back. In this case, it was Brandon Wood, and figure the guy or guys behind me have a better chance of driving the guy in than I do if he's at second. There's the bunt by Aaron Miles.
Now, normally, you know my philosophy on 2-out bunts. But in that case, nice pitch by Paul. That'll break him ball down. In that case, with the type of hitters he had coming up behind him, and the bunt has to be either a base hit where there's no play at first or a foul ball. And he did that. He put it right there where it was either going to go foul or they were going to have to let it roll. And if you do that, then there's never any fear of making an easy out of yourself by getting it too close to the mound. And that's when it really becomes kind of people are like, looking, what are you trying to do? Got a runner on base and you're butting the ball back to the mound for the 3rd out. So you really have to get it real close to the chalk line, and he accomplished that.
Late swing and a miss by Uribe. The count is 0-2 on Juan Uribe. Fly ball to center. McCutchen.
Well, Paul's not having any early inning trouble so far like he's had.
He's 2/3 of the way getting past this second inning after putting up the 0 in the first.
He's making it look pretty easy. First inning, coupled to easy ground balls, the strikeout.
Well, how interesting it was, Bob, to hear Clint Hurdle talk about his phone call to Mahalam over the winter, because he gave him what had been the scouting report from the visitor side, and he said it was a heart to heart. He said, this is what we see, this is what we've done, and Mahalam then took it to heart, so that now, as Hurdle said, in order to prepare for Mahalam, you have to prepare differently than you had in the past. And one of the things I know you talked a lot about, establishing inside with Paul Mahalam. Have you seen him doing more of that this year?
Yeah, I think so. But Lilly is a great example of that last night. He's a guy that doesn't really throw as hard as Mahalam does. But he pitches with his fastball to both sides of the plate without fear. He'll throw the inside fastball to a right-hand hitter. He knows he has to keep everybody honest. There's one right there to Barajas. Barajas, not really a good hitter as far as his batting average, but a very dangerous guy. He's a power guy. And there's the number 3 over at the score on the strike zone. That's that pitch right on the inside corner.
Line to left. Barajas has one, and he'll hold there as Paul guns it towards second. Just a single for Barajas.
And the Ducks got a real good look at this one. They knew they were okay. No reason to move. Paul over in good shape, cut that ball off, kept it from getting in the corner. Barajas had to throw the brakes on it.
Did not move.
Oh, everybody is sat down now. Oh, we're going to take a nap.
Ball one on Jerry Sands. 1 for 7 in the series. The rookie left fielder.
Duck kind of remind me of Mel Check a little bit there.
Veteran radio engineer.
Rest his eyes every now and then.
Yep. Count goes to 2-0 on Sands. Hurdle was talking specifically about a start that Mahalem had against the Texas Rangers last year. The Pirates were drubbed in that game 13-3 down in Arlington. And of course, Hurdle was the hitting coach with the Rangers last season. 3-0 now on Sands. Pirates even at 500 on the year.
Okay, I think you've heard me say this before, that a lot of the things, you know, some of the best things I ever learned about pitching, I learned from listening to hitting coaches, talking to their hitters specifically. And it opens your eyes to, you know, what they're thinking about, what they're trying to do. And it kind of makes you reevaluate what it is you're out there doing.
If that's what the hitters are saying about me.
Or about somebody else, and you're like, oh, I know.
Philosophy.
I see what he's trying to do here. Now I know why I don't get away with that pitch.
This one misses. He fell behind 3-0, got it to 3-2, but he walked Sands, putting runners at first and second.
But I would advise any young pitcher or any pitcher whatsoever, you know, to go down and hang out the batting cage, especially when those hitters are doing those flip drills. You know, the hitting coach is sitting behind a screen and he's flipping balls in different spots. You know, watching the hitter handle inside pitches, outside pitches. They stop every 3 or 4. They talk about, you know, what they're trying to do with that pitch. You know, where was it in the strike zone? Did you let it get deep? You know, you're out in front of that pitch. You can't try and pull that pitches away. Little tiny things, and you're like, you start realizing what they're going through at the plate, and it really helps you understand how to read a swing and how you need to pitch them.
It sounds like that's something you have done.
Well, yeah, I did it with just about every team that I've ever been around, and not for that reason though, but because I just, you know, you get to the ballpark early. What are you going to do? You go and you hang out the batting cage, and you know, I kind of stumbled along on that by accident, just, you know, on my own. I'm listening to
Piques your interest a little bit.
Yeah, and you're like, you know, like, listen to Milty talk to, you know, Andy Van Slyke about something, and it just clicks one day, like, oh, hey, you know, I'm learning something here about not hitting, but I'm learning about pitching, even though I'm listening to the hitters.
Ball and 2 strikes on Russell Mitchell.
And kind of where I wanted to go with this at the very beginning. Here's a good stop here as this ball gets down. And look at the way Snyder was leaning forward, so that ball doesn't go off sideways. It hits him in the chest and goes straight back down in the dirt. As a catcher, you definitely want to get that upper body leaning forward when you block a pitch.
Chopper to third, and that will do it. 2 men left on base, a hit and a walk following the first 2 out. 0-0 after 1.5. Crew chief asked Manny Lopez, head of the groundskeepers, to go ahead, get these guys out of here. So he does. He shoos them away. So they move from left field. And you know what? The view ain't too bad in right center. How about right about here?
Oh, that was not a very good landing. Did you see that? Did you see the mail? Went in beak first.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, they're over there by the all-you-can-eat seats now. They were just hungry. Oh, I think he might have hurt himself. I think he might have hurt himself going in head first. Look at him.
Manny Lopez and the grounds crew. Lyle Overbay leads off the bottom of the second.
They're on the move again, Greg.
Bounce to second. DeJesus handles that one. DeJesus to Mitchell. Kuroda retires the first man. He faces Lyle Overbay, and now Chris Snyder back in the lineup. Clint Hurdle rode the hot hand of Ryan Domit for 3 straight games. First time that Domit had played consecutive games since Chris Snyder came off the disabled list in mid-April.
Domit hot, swinging from the right side of the plate. Got that third start against a lefty.
Chris Snyder has reached base safely in all 15 of his starts. Began the year on the DL with lower back stiffness.
There's been some points in this lineup that hasn't been clicking so far, but whoever's been catching, they've been hitting.
Homer, 10 RBIs for Snyder. There's Ryan Domit.
Well, the beard wasn't gone long, was it?
No.
They're really doing excellent work with that slider so far. Everybody wants to be an everyday player, never miss a game, but it sure looks like both of these catchers are going to be better off kind of sharing that job. Maybe not 50-50, but 60-40, however it works out. They're going to both, I think, be better offensively, better defensively, and maybe most important of all, they're going to be better health-wise. Especially Domit. We've seen that the wear and tear really gets to him over the course of the season.
Check swing versus base umpire Mike DeMuro. Gary Green is in town, minor league infield coordinator. His dad Fred was a Bucco, played on that 1960 team. And a walk with one away. It's the 11th free pass for Kuroda in 47 innings. He's in his 4th year with the Dodgers, went 11-13 last season. Been pretty consistent.
And he's never really given up a lot of home runs. It really is the thing that's different about him this year. Speaking of home runs, that's what Pedro needs to start doing, getting a few over the fence. One of the spots in the lineup not clicking yet.
Originally in the 7th spot of the order with Neil Walker in the cleanup role. But when Walker was scratched because of flu-like symptoms, everybody else moved up a notch, including Alvarez, from 7th to 6th. And that's not where they want him either. Eventually, they want this big man to be their big cleanup hitter
for years to come.
Yep. Fly ball toward right. Ethier. That was up there, Ethier said. Yes, it was.
It was up a mile. That's a ball that he needs to drive. That's up, out over the plate. That's a pitch where power hitters. That's what they're looking for. Something up, held high.
He knows he missed it.
Yeah, now Alvarez did get that ball pretty good. He got underneath it a little bit, but to hit a ball that high, he had to have the barrel right on it. It just missed the sweet spot. So I'm going to take that fly ball as a positive sign. That wasn't a fly ball where it went off the end of the bat or he got jammed a little bit. That was only, what do you think, Greg, a half inch from going in the river.
Wood with a fly ball to center. This is Matt Kemp for out number 3. Bucks strand a man after the 1-out free pass. 2 innings played at PNC Park. Dodgers and Buccos scoreless.
Game with a record of 1-4, but he very easily could be 2-3. He was awesome in his last outing against Houston and through 7 innings, but left the game and the bullpen could not hold the lead. However, Paul is still very confident in his bullpen and how they can act in his advantage or for his advantage in the future.
My job is to go out there to get deep into the game and give the team a chance to win and give us the lead going deep. And they're gonna bail me out more times than not. And I have all the confidence in the world in the guys to give me a lead and the defense to take care of me and the bullpen to finish it off. So for me, it's got to be consistency and it's got to be going out there and going 7+ innings and giving us a chance.
Paul is busy tonight, and just a reminder, he'll be busy on Sunday, June 5th with his 5th annual charity. For more tickets on the Gilda's Club event, dial 412-338-1919. Guys?
All right, thanks so much, Dan. Hiroki Kuroda at the plate, the pitcher, 2-0. At Gilda's Club, something that Paul and his wife Jessica have been extremely supportive of. (3-0). This isn't quite as extreme as Matt Guerrier in the 8th inning last night. A longtime American League relief pitcher, but obviously Mahalam doesn't want to walk Kuroda.
Yeah, that was kind of extreme last night. And, you could see another sign of that by Ray Searage's reaction when he came out to the mound.
He's as angry as I've seen
him.
Him.
He's always so happy-go-lucky, but I'll tell you, that got his attention in not a good way.
Nick Leyva, the Pirates' third base coach and infield instructor, leaning over the railing. Behind him, the Pirates pitching coach Ray Searage, who came out and really gave it to Chris Rehsop. 3-2 as Mahalam tries to come back against his mound opponent. Kuroda off the glove of Overbay, recovers in time to barely get Kuroda.
Pitcher running, he had time to just knock it down. No panic. Very nice. You know what's good about that too is Mahalam, he got there and got under control so he could set up. You know, some pitchers, they get over there on the dead run and they can't stop at the base. They run through it, they catch the ball, they're already past the base. You know, that's no good. You have to be under control. And it's those bobbled ones that really test that theory to see how under control you are. We'll take a look at Paul coming off the mound, and he's able to get over and then slow down right there, put the brakes on, and play the bag like he's a first baseman. Now, if you're planning on hitting that bag and catching the throw in stride, and now it comes late, you get the ball and you're a step past the bag. It's obviously not going to help you out any. You have to have your head up a little bit, see what's happening, and be able to throw the brakes on. And Paul was not always the best fielding pitcher in the world. He first came to the big leagues. That was one of the knocks on him, was it didn't really field his position well. But through a lot of practice and work, he's made himself into a pretty decent fielding pitcher now. Does a lot of the little things pretty well. Can handle the bat some. Has a major league home run, in fact. Got an excellent pickoff move. He does the things that you have to do to pitch in the National League as a starter. Nice work there from Snyder. 3-2. And pitch, Mahalam has done. He goes out there every 5 days. His son Wyatt, name on his glove. Another one of those ground balls to the left side. You get the right hand hitter. And 3-2, he's feeling like he's kind of in the driver's seat, so he's more likely to pull. And if he gets an outside pitch, he's going to pull it, put it right on the ground. And that's the main reason you see him get so many ground balls.
Two outs, nobody on.
Got the 13 on his back. Must want to be a shortstop. Because his dad went to Philly, and I think Sandberg
and Sandberg Boa deal. Yep.
Went to Chicago.
His dad Ivan was signed as a non-drafted free agent by the Dodgers, and then was traded to the Cubs for Rick Monday, and then later to the Phillies, as Bob said, for Ryan Sandberg and Larry Boa. Rick Monday, longtime Dodger broadcaster. And a base hit for De Jesus.
And Patriot.
And Patriot is right. Rick Monday there with Charlie Steiner.
And Rick on the right side, Charlie on the left.
It was as a Cub, right, at Dodger Stadium that Monday swiped the flag away from those two protesters trying to burn the American flag. I believe it was at Dodger Stadium, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
I don't remember what uniform he was wearing.
I think it was with the Cubs. Andre Ethier takes a strike. He struck out in the first.
We hear that you are right. Was as a Cub. It's probably the day the Dodgers decide we got to get this guy.
0-2 on Ethier, who struck out in the first inning. He was acquired from the Oakland A's December of 2005 for Milton Bradley. Well, that trade, that's worked out for the Dodgers, don't you think? Milton Bradley recently released by the Mariners. Strike three call, and Ethier knew it. Good work from Paul Mahalem. Number 28 for the Buccos has put up 3 zeros. Pirates back to work with the bats. Text the booth. Your question, your name. The booth, 412-412. We'll take a look at these questions, and Bob will answer them on the air later. Once again, keyword booth, followed by your question, your name to 412-412, and try and answer it on the air. That's right, 412. Wait a minute, B-O-O-T-H, 4-1. Cedeno takes ball one. Starting at second base tonight.
This is like last night's game. Both starters. And, no problems early on. Until last night, the Dodgers have had problems scoring runs.
Hit hard, but at the second baseman, Jesus. Brings up Paul Mahalem. After he struck out Ethier, he went back and got the baseball.
I thought maybe that there was something significant with that strikeout, and he wanted to save that ball.
No milestone, but a souvenir for someone.
Yeah, he just wanted to roll it over to those kids.
Wait, I'll grab that.
The kids weren't looking.
I'll just take it. Thank you.
Well, kids, you'll get another chance.
Yeah.
Someday. Paul just 1 for 11 so far this year. Not really a bad hitter. Not a good hitter. Just as far as pitchers go, probably middle of the road.
He's still above in his career. He's above the Bilecki line.
Yes.
Career batting average of 116. We'll be able to share that baseball, family.
With this foul ball I got while you were gone.
Yeah. We were talking, Bob and I, on the radio side last night, that we have now established a new line for 100 hitters. The 200 line, 200 batting average, for years has been known as the Mendoza line. Former Pirates shortstop Mario Mendoza. Forget who exactly coined that phrase, but when you're hitting around 200, you're at the Mendoza line. Now, from this day forward, anybody that bats around 100 is batting at the Bilecki line. Former Pirate pitcher Mike Bilecki. And Mahalam is tagged out by Mitchell. He tried to duck out of the way of the tag. Mitchell able to slap that tag on him.
Both pitchers trying to come up with an infield hit. Both defenses up to the task. Nice play by Mitchell, able to get that shoulder as he went by. There you saw it, the absolute only time you should slide into first base. If you're running down there and you see the first baseman leave the bag, okay, slide. Other than that, run through.
McCutcheon.
I'm not saying that Mahalan should have done that,
right.
but I'm just using that as a general rule.
McCutcheon going to take at least a ball here for Mahalam's sake.
Although I have seen starting pitchers slide, trying to avoid tags at first. And I wouldn't doubt that Paul would do it if he thought about it and recognized the play in time.
Carroll gets McCutcheon the ground ball. 1-2-3 go the Pirates through 3 innings, 0-0 here at PNC Park. You're watching Root Sports. Joining the Gilda's Club of Western Pennsylvania. That event is Sunday, June 5th, 6 to 9. Tickets $60. A bunch of players will be on hand. You have some great items there. It's a great night of food and fun. Call 412-338-1919. Helping a great cause. 412-338-1919. Or go to gildasclubwesternpa.org. That's in the strip. Smallman Street. Paul and his wife Jessica work extremely hard, joining the folks at the Gilda's Club to put on a nice event. Matt Kemp struck out in the second. 3 Ks for Mahalam. Two and one. We mentioned before about Mahalam being on what is a pretty elite list when you think about 125 years of Pirates history. Not many pitchers have thrown 1,000 innings or more in a Pirates uniform. Mahalam is one of them. In fact, the last pitcher to reach the 1,000 pitch mark in Pirates history was none other than Bob Walk. Our own Walkie threw 1,303 innings in Pirates history.
Sometimes it feels like it too.
Yeah, every once in a while you wake up. Mahalam 1,025 innings so far.
Where was I? Oh, we did the open out on Federal Street a few days ago, and somebody threw me a ball. I tried to throw it back to him.
Wow, Kemp
Man.
flying down that line, and what looked like a routine ground ball to Brandon Wood instead is an infield single.
That should have been a routine ball. It's a pure hustle by Kemp. I mean, this is 1, 2, a little bit toward the hole. Well, he got a good break coming out of the box. He was kind of reaching for that as he swung. Again, right-hand hitter trying to pull a pitch away, put it on the ground. But because he's reaching and swinging at the same time, he's already started his move toward first base. Gave him maybe a little quarter step, and that's what he needed.
Nobody out. First time that the Dodgers have had a man at first with no one out, and Kemp has stolen 11 bases in 14 tries.
Saying before, Paul has a good move over to first base. He can vary his times to the plate too. He's got a little slide step he can use. So if he wants to, he can get rid of the ball real quick home, or he can go with the traditional leg kick. Rely on some deception. There it is.
Bounce towards second. Cedeno will get the lead man, and they'll, oh no, the safe call at first. Now he looked out there. And Clint Hurdle taking a couple of steps toward the steps and then thought better of it.
It's a good job by everybody involved. Oh, man. Well, the first time I saw it, he sure looked out. Take a look again. Couldn't tell from that one. One more time. Paul wants it. The pitchers absolutely love double plays.
What do you love more, Bob, now, a DP or a strikeout?
I think a double play most of the time. If it's an important hitter, like a real good hitter, and it's to end the inning, I might give that a nod. That's a pretty good feeling too, because now you're walking off the mound. You just struck out somebody, you know, a named guy in a big situation.
Fly ball deep to center. McCutchen, just enough room. Barajas sent the Pirates center fielder back to the wall.
They're both good feelings, though, Greg. I got the double play feeling, you know, my share, but I didn't get the strikeout feeling very often. That might be why I lean toward it.
How about a double play and you're on the end at first base of the DP? I know how much you like that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of pressure on me to make a good turn.
I'm talking about a 3-6-1 DP.
You know, I don't think there was anything I had more fun at than covering first base, either double play or ground ball to first, anything. I loved going over there and covering first.
For those who don't know, Bob had a signature move when he covered first.
A signature
it certainly
move.
was. Any Pirate fan who watched a handful of games over the years knows Bob had that signature move and covering first. Ground ball to second. On to first. Well done by Mahalam after the leadoff infield hit. Scoreless ball game through 3.5 at PNC Park. You're watching it here on Root Sports.
Root Sports is sponsored by Toyota. Buy right the first time and save more. Visit your local Toyota dealer for details. And by AT&T. Let's go Bucks!
Back here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Yeah, nice tribute there to Kenny Guidell. Passed away yesterday. Longtime vendor at Three Rivers at PNC Park. Lemonade here. Moment of silence before the game yesterday to Kenny. Xavier Paul leads off the bottom of the fourth. And a strike on the former Dodger. A fly ball to the wall in right field. Tracked down by Andre Ethier.
Looked good coming off the bat. Just got out on the end a little. It's one of the few moments of real excitement we've had today.
It's been routine otherwise, hasn't it?
That one looked like it had a shot at it.
Fourth round pick of the Dodgers, Xavier Paul, in 2003.
At least for extra bases, getting up on that Clemente wall.
Two 2-1 count. Xavier Paul, 26 years old, Louisiana native. Tap to the right. Kuroda, nicely done. Arrives there in time. One out, bottom of the fourth inning. AT&T Mobility presents tonight's trivia question. which is, who are the 3 Japanese-born pitchers who have been opening day starters?
Nomo would have to be one. That's got to come. And,
I'm thinking Kuroda. Did Kuroda start their opener this year? Why else would they have asked that question? It's got to be Kuroda, one of them.
Okay. Who are they, by the way?
They?
Yeah, you said they.
Aren't they the Gypsies?
Oh, okay.
Well, sorry.
Wasn't sure who they were. So we're going Nomo, Kuroda. Opening day. It's, the Red Sox. Red Sox.
Daisuke Matsuzaka, that's it. Daisuke, Kuroda, Nomo. Those are my.
Our.
Bob's. Ours. Who's our?
We're our. They're
Who's
they.
2-0 count on Garrett Jones. He looks for a pitch he can drive. Talked early about Kuroda giving up 7 home runs his first 7 starts.
Coming off a couple of very poor starts. Actually started off his season well. A couple of nice wins, but he's got things back together tonight.
One of Garrett Jones's 4 career hits against Kuroda, a home run a couple of years ago. 4-pitch walk. September of '09, right here at PNC Park. Garrett Jones home run off Kuroda. Kuroda has started 5 games in his career against the Pirates. 3-1, 2.32 ERA in his previous 5 starts. Lyle Overbay bounced to second his first time up.
They don't put that shift on with Overbay. Everybody is straight up. Outfield, infield. '93. Reach back for Electra on that one. Got in the top part of the strike zone. Range resource strike zone shows up right at the very top. And there's a look from the very top, the view. Splash can view. You can see how deep those outfielders are.
This fastball missed 1-1. Hits by direction for Overbay. 7 to the left side, 8 to center, a dozen to the right side.
A little bit of an open stance. And he got tired of waiting.
High fly ball to right. Ethier. So the trivia question brought to you by AT&T. Who are the 3 Japanese-born pitchers who have been opening day starters? We thought it would be Kuroda, Nomo, and Daisuke.
Answer is, there we go. Good job, us.
Good job, they.
No.
Good trivia question.
No, it was a very easy trivia question. I think they mailed it in.
I don't think it was that easy.
Us got it. If us got it, it was easy. It took us, what, 30 seconds? A good trivia question takes a half inning. Got to do a lot of discussing. My guess is tomorrow's will be up the scale of difficulty a little bit.
Glad I won't be here. I don't like those tough ones.
You are the two-time defending champion of the trivia game. Back when we used to keep score.
Yeah.
That's how you used to cheat trivia. You used to look it up on the internet on your phone.
Nope, sorry, we didn't have it then, Bob. What if we still have the famous picture where you were captured in the trailer trying to find the answer?
The gypsies were pretty sneaky that day.
1-2 on Snyder. 2 outs. A man on. Bucks looking for their first hit.
No reason the first hit can't be a double. Score Jones, take the lead. Get rid of the no-hitter, shutout, everything right away. But San Diego, 23 hits today.
8-run, 8th inning rally for the Padres to beat the Brewers. And Kuroda strikes out Snyder looking. Still no hits through 4. Scoreless ball game. On to the 5th we go.
Everybody from the Riverwalk, it's baseball quiz.
Is sponsored by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
And we're in the 5th inning now. Still 0-0 ball game. And our Day Automotive look at this day in Pirates history is on this day in 1986. Bill Ullman hit a walk-off inside the park home run in the bottom of the 12th. The Pirates win 4-3 over the Astros at Three River Stadium. Thank you, Day Automotive, this day in Pirates history. The Astros had tied it in the 9th inning on back-to-back home runs by Mark Bailey and Dickie Thon off Jim Wynn. And then Bill Ullman hit the inside the park homer in the bottom of the 12th to win it. A pitching matchup of Big Daddy Rick Russell for the Pirates against Nolan Ryan for the Astros. Ryan gave up 3 runs that day. Rick Russell gave up 1. Bounced to third. So Mitchell is retired. Well, the Gypsies, Bob, they didn't like what you said. Who's the Pirates' all-time leader in career wins among Japanese-born pitchers? Mr. Smarty Pants.
What was that list you had a while ago?
I can't find it.
I can only think of one Japanese-born pitcher that we had.
That's the same here, but I can't remember his name. Can you? Bob, why don't you cheat like you used to? This was taken back in 2008. That is Bob looking at his. He sees the question, trivia question there, and he's looking on his BlackBerry for the answer.
I'm hiding it behind the paper so no one knows.
Yep. Pretty crafty.
Well, see, that was the reason I even had that opportunity, was because we had to go to answering it before the game. Remember, we had to turn our answers in. I didn't like that, so that's actually, I might have been getting a call there.
I don't think so. But do you remember the Japanese-born pitcher's name? Mahalam takes care of Kuroda. 2 up and 2 down.
I remember in spring training he ran into the umpire and
Wally Bell.
Broke his ankle or something.
He tore up his knee. The AT&T bonus trivia question, which we could not answer. Jeff McCurry. Oh, little tricksters.
They got us.
I was thinking of Masami Kawada. But
that's right.
The Gypsies got us with Jeff McCurry, who was born in Japan. So never question them again, Bob.
No, we'll leave them alone. Actually, I learned my lesson the other day in San Diego.
Carroll takes a strike.
They always have embarrassing video they can always go to if they want to. They will get the last laugh.
Carroll has twice bounced to shortstop Brandon Wood. Mahalam out in front, 0-2. Again, Jamie Carroll came in 10th in the league in hitting, and the top shortstop in terms of on-base percentage going back to last year. Bounced to Cedeno. 4-3 on the putout. 4-3, a 1-2-3 fifth, and 4.5 played. Goose eggs. The weather today, but he'll be ready for his bobblehead day as the Pirates host the Tigers. 7:05 May 21st interleague play. All fans get a bobblehead courtesy of Root Sports. Visit pirates.com for tickets. It's also an Eaton Park Scratch and Win Saturday. All fans get a scratch card good for prizes from Eaton Park. The only player bobblehead of the season is a Neil Walker bobblehead thanks to Root Sports. Get your tickets Saturday, May 21st, 7:05.
Where do you get the Root Sports signs?
Sign store.
Oh, sign store. Yeah, that makes sense. Where do you get one of those? That's what I want.
Let's work on that.
You know, I think that's club level. I think they get the ice cream machine sitting there. Yeah.
We'll give you a half inning off here in a moment.
All right. I went over and turned the coffee machine back
Thank
on,
you.
by the way.
Better than having it lukewarm at best.
Somebody sabotaged us and turned it off. Get it back on. Half inning or so, maybe it'll reheated.
Alvarez just missed a home run his last time and just absolutely blisters that ball into the seats.
He's not really getting fooled so far tonight.
His first time up on Monday night. Hit a ball as hard as he has all year right at James Loney, the first baseman. He was 0 for 3 with a walk the opening game of the series. Pinch hit last night and grounded out. Cuts and misses, 1 and 2.
I remember last year he was scuffling with the strikeouts and really looked out of place. For how long? First month he was up here. Adjustments were made, and by the end of the season, especially there in September, he was very dangerous to the opposing pitchers, getting some balls over the fence pretty regular. Right now, he's still searching.
4th strikeout for Kuroda. Pirates searching for their first hit.
Everything on the very edge of the strike zone. That's how the real good pitchers work. They don't throw too many in the middle. A little up, a little down.
Broken bat, dropping for a hit. Brandon Wood has the first hit, a broken bat single to left.
That'll do. What's wrong with that? Got it in on the hands. A little bit of a grimace. Probably didn't feel real good. Died a winner.
Brandon Wood, who came over. The Pirates picked him up off waivers from the Angels on the 22nd of last month. And has filled in various infield positions. Tonight at shortstop, Cedeno moving to second for Neil Walker. Wood has the leadoff of the 1-out single. First hit of the game for the Bucks. Now Cedeno. Brandon Wood, not much of a stolen base threat. He did steal 21 bases his second year of pro ball in the Angels organization back in 2004. Just 5 in the big leagues. Ground ball right side. Second baseman De Jesus hits one.
That's a pretty good job getting the lead runner. From our vantage point, looking down on that play, watching it develop, I thought for sure he was going to have to go to first. And watch this. De Jesus went a long way. He's going toward first base. I thought he would take the sure out, especially with the pitcher coming up, but he made the spin, threw behind, and got the lead runner. Anytime you get them out, it's the right move.
Well, pitcher Paul Mahalem grounded out to the shortstop in the 3rd inning. Oh, and 2.
Gotta help yourself out here a little bit, Paul.
Can't do it. Strikeout, 5 for Kuroda, and through 5 it's still 0-0.
Everett paid a visit to St. Benedict's in the Hill District. The Pirates and the Diocese of Pittsburgh have teamed up to help teach mathematics to junior high students in a new and different way. Now, these students are playing a simulated fantasy baseball game that helps teach them more about ratio and proportion, plus probability and data analysis. I probably could have used a little of that myself back in the day.
There's Tim Neverett. He joined Ross Ollendorf at that St. Benedict the Moore School for that fantasy baseball site visit. Thanks to Dan Potash for that. Good stuff. Fun way to learn math. Ball 1 on Ivan De Jesus.
What was the name of that old baseball game where you
Stratomatic.
Stratomatic, yeah.
Mine was APA, but yeah, Stratomatic was popular.
That was a lot of fun. It was all about probabilities.
Mm-hmm. Mahalem falls behind De Jesus, 3-0.
Best thing about that Stratomatic game, though, is that when you get ready to start a season, is the draft. Picking your team.
Yep. 4-pitch walk in front of Ethier. Bucco fans, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Root Sports Pit. See what the Root Sports team is tweeting about the game, because we're fans just like you. Root Sports Pit.
I want one of those so bad.
Andre Ethier at the plate has struck out twice.
I do have a weigh-in tomorrow, though.
You have a weigh-in tomorrow?
Yeah, I got to trying to lose some lbs. You know what I'm talking about, Craig. We've been getting some text to boost about how heavy I'm getting.
Look out here. Cedeno not going to get there in time.
Good effort. Backhand flip with a glove. Just couldn't get it done. You know, when you're a good hitter and you're fooled and you nub the ball somewhere, this is what happens. Nobody can make the play on it. Now, if you're a guy with a career batting average of 220, that ball goes right back to the pitcher every time.
First and second.
I think the only way you would have had a shot at that would overbay, go for the ball and then shovel at the Paul covering the bag. I think they might have had a play that way. But that's just too far for Cedeno to come, and especially Cedeno, not really a second baseman. First time there in a couple of years.
First and second, nobody out. Dodgers had runners at 2 on 2 out in the second, but a big threat here. 2-0 the count now on Kemp. Kemp had a 3-run homer last night in the 6th inning off Kevin Correa that made the score 4-0 after Ethier had broken the scoreless tie. Here we are now again in the 6th inning, and now Mahalam falls behind 3-0.
This is a tough situation. You got to be careful, but it's 3-0. You also have to throw a strike. No rock in a hard place.
Swinging away 3-0 and fouling it off to the right. Here's the home run last night. Again, Andre Ethier had preceded this dinger with an RBI single to make it 1-0 with 2 on Kemp. It is 7th of the year, made it 4-zip. And the Dodgers went on to win it 10-3. It's Kevin Correa. Kemp with 4 hits in 12 at-bats lifetime against Mahalam. Bases loaded.
We need that ground ball, Greg.
Bullpen will be called upon to start loosening up here. Someone will get a call. Euclides Rojas answering the request from Ray Searage. And now they bide some time here with Snyder going out to talk, and
somebody needs to get up and throw.
Yeah, somebody else is going to be in that bullpen tonight. Jose Ascanio recalled from his rehab assignment. Last pitched in the big leagues with the Pirates in 2009. Right shoulder and elbow problems. Mike Crotta has been placed on the disabled list with right elbow inflammation. Crotta had a really rough night last night. 4 batters faced, did not retire any. All 4 men scored.
Well, Mike's got a long career ahead of him, and you don't want to mess around with elbow pain. Be very careful with that.
Ray Searage out there. AGH injury update. Crota out there with the right posterior elbow inflammation, placed on the disabled list, seated next to Evan Meek. Well, now it's Juan Uribe with the bases loaded, and as Bob said, really in desperate need of that ground ball and a double play. They'll trade it for a run, and ball one in the dirt. At third base, De Jesus. At second, Ethier, and at first, Kemp. De Jesus walked. Ethier reached on the infield hit. Kemp walked. Uribe has hit into 4 double plays, tied for the team lead. And bounced past the mound, and wisely, Mahalam stayed away from it.
Very nice.
6-3 DP. 1-0. 2 outs.
Now, you still want to play, I believe, conservative at this stage. You still have 4 more innings to score a run. And you have to score a run anyway. And that's a good call, Greg. You could see Paul pull the glove down. Nope, let it go. That's going to be an easy double play. Give me those 2 outs. Smart pitcher.
De Jesus scoring. Ethier now at third with 2 down for Barajas. Key now for Mahalam. Get this 3rd out. Don't let that man from third score. Barajas 5 hits and 11 at bats in the series, and last time up drove a ball to the wall in center. Be careful to this guy. The rookie Sands on deck. Two and 0. A 35-year-old veteran from Ontario, California, Rod Barajas. 2 for 5 last night, and now they'll finish it off with an intentional walk. And they'll go after the rookie, Jerry Sands. Our AGH injury update. Evan Meek is on the 15-day disabled list. Right shoulder tendonitis, threw off the mound today for the first time. Will be making the trip to Milwaukee and hopes to begin a rehab soon. If all goes well, love to see Meek get back to form, his all-star form last year. That would be huge. Setting up Hanrahan and then Veras and Resop.
Kind of surprised those 2 guys are out of the bullpen. This has to be the worst bullpen in baseball to see a game from. You can only see half the field for one thing. And that's much easier for the out-of-towners to see the game. They're right up against the fence.
Sands goes the other way. It's a fair ball. 2-0. Ball hangs up there. Jones gets it in. A double for Sands. Ethier scores. Jerry Sands' 2nd hit of the series and 7th double of the year.
Well, you would think they're going to walk Mitchell now. See the ball get down in that corner. If they intentionally walked to get to Sands, I think for sure they would intentionally walk here to get to Crota.
7 of his 14 hits in the big leagues have been doubles. Intentional walk to Mitchell. It's the 4th walk of the inning for Mahalam. 2 of them have been intentional. The intentional pass brings up Kuroda, the 8th man to hit in the inning. The leadoff walk to De Jesus. It's followed by the infield hit by Ethier. Both men score.
Pushing 100 pitches. Could possibly be the last inning of work for Paul.
Out off to the right by Kuroda. 1 for 19 at the plate this season with a couple of walks.
He's choking up a couple inches on the bat. He knows this is an important AB for him. Get something put out there.
Rolls to first, the broken bat grounder. 8 men to the plate, 2 score against Paul Mahalem and the Pirates. Bucks will come to the plate with Andrew McCutchen leading off here on Root Sports.
It's Coors Light Freeze Cam. Remember this play? Lyle was able to knock it down. A little toss to Mahalem. They got the call. Watch how close it was. There's the ball. Freeze it. Tie goes to the Buccos. That's the Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Hiroki Kuroda now with a 2-0 lead, faces the top of the Pirates batting order. Pirates with 1 hit. See what the line looks like for both starters. McCutchen has struck out and bounced to short.
Yeah, Paul wasn't real happy right there when he walked off. He slammed the glove in his hand after that last out. But, you know, giving up 2 runs there is not the end of the world. He had the bases loaded, nobody out. Almost got away with just 1 run in. So did okay. Still 4 innings left for the Pirates to do something. It's just a 2-run game. You're certainly concerned, but you can't beat yourself up for giving up a run. Just 2 in this case. There's a look at the field from beyond the bullpen. But where the Pirates are deep way against that back wall, you can't see anything. Right field, nothing out that direction. I really never noticed that until I walked out there the other day. See where the center field wall is, right by the batter's eye, that blocks that whole side of the field for the Pirates. Not a good place to watch the game.
Didn't the Pirates begin PNC Park opened up? Didn't the Pirates have their bullpen in the front?
Yeah, I can't remember now what the reason was why they changed, but the first couple of games, maybe first series, the Pirates were in the front bullpen. For some reason they went to the back, and you really can't see anything from back there.
2-1 count on McCutchen.
Yeah, I kind of think it would But if I had to sit out there, I'd want to be in one of those folding chairs up against the fence. Looks like a pretty good place to see the game.
Two and two.
It's the first thing that the other team does when they get out to that pin, and they move those chairs over by the fence.
Bounces it to third. And on to first. Uribe to Mitchell.
That's a heck of a
for
play
three.
for McCutcheon to be thrown out by about 2.5 steps on that ball. Heck of a job by Uribe.
Pirates with one hit, a broken bat single by Brandon Wood last inning with one out. Xavier Paul hit a ball to the wall in the first inning and grounded to first baseman Russell Mitchell his last time up. He showed bunt a couple of times. The first and second baseman back.
Playing back right now. It's there for him if he wants to take a shot at it. Of course, Uribe's all over him at third. Look at De Jesus, Mitchell. You would think the Dodgers know pretty much where to play him on defense. Dead straight away pretty much in the outfield.
For a little bit more on Xavier Paul, let's go back down to Dan Potash.
Well, Greg, I think it's fair to say that Xavier may have been a Pirate from birth. He grew up in Louisiana. This is a photo of him as a 5-year-old in New Orleans. Went to one of those stores where you can get your picture put on a magazine like it was the real deal. Well, he chose the Pirates because he grew up as a Pirate fan and always looked up to Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, and Andy Van Slyke. And now he's a real-life bucko. Not bad.
That's something.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. Be able to fulfill a dream. He looked good in that uniform,
Yeah,
too,
he did.
didn't he?
Looks good in this uniform. Born to be a bucko. Xavier Paul, 62 games with the Dodgers, parts of the last 3 years. Two count. Stays 2-2. It was Paul who was recalled 2 years ago, back in early May, when Manny Ramirez was suspended by violating the substance abuse policy in Major League Baseball. Paul made his big league debut May the 7th. First big league hit was a pinch hit single against Jeremy Affeldt and the Giants on May the 10th. And that misses 3-2. His first big league home run was off Chris Volstad of the Florida Marlins in May of 2009. His only home run to this point in the big leagues. Three-2 pitch, and up the middle for Xavier Paul. A single to center.
Take a look at excellent swing. He's got head right on the ball as he drives it back through the middle. Didn't try to get pull happy because he had a full count. Ball looked like it was on the outside half. He let it get deep in the zone over the plate and hit it right back through the middle. wonder if Paul might try to use the legs here, since Pirates aren't doing much else on offense. Maybe spark something with a steal.
Shift on for Garrett Jones. Uribe playing a bit off the line, not as much with nobody on, with men on first base, closer to the line rather. You see the three men on the right side, Carroll, DeJesus, and Mitchell. Jones has struck out and walked, had an 11-pitch at bat in the first inning before striking out. Nobody has attempted a stolen base yet against Kuroda this season. Last year, opponents were successful 14 out of 21. And this year against Rod Barajas, the catcher, opposition has stolen 20 bases in 25 chances.
Those extra base hits that he's been giving up. Nobody's on first.
Yeah. There he goes. Hit in the air the other way and slicing toward the seats. He got a pretty good jump. Oh, 0-2 the count on Garrett Jones.
Maybe Garrett was thinking about trying to beat that shift. There's the jump we were talking about, Greg. Well, he does have a quick first step.
He does, yep. Kuroda ahead now of Jones 0-2 with Overbay on deck, 1 out, Bucks down 2. And now with 2 strikes, Uribe plays halfway between second and third as Paul watches Kuroda. Scooped out of the dirt by Barajas, 1-2.
Base stealers, they're thinking, should I go? Should I go? Should I go? No, I'm not going to. Then they see the ball bounce.
Darn, I could have gone.
Yeah, I'd have made it. Yeah, they have to think that occasionally.
One and two on Garrett Jones, who hit a 456-foot home run on opening day last year against these Dodgers. Goes down swinging. 6 Ks for Kuroda. 2 outs in the 6th. Hiroki Kuroda, the 36-year-old from Osaka, Japan, now with 6 Ks.
Look at the location of those pitches, Greg. Nothing in the strike zone.
Overbay with Paul at first, 2 outs. There goes Paul. Go down to second base. Not in time. Paul with his 3rd steal in 3 attempts.
I think a real quick first step. It definitely makes him a base stealer. Not even thinking about looking back. Concentrating on that base the whole way down. There's a front foot going straight to the back edge.
AGH cam shows you a beautiful shot there. The stolen base by Paul.
He did kind of come off the bag a little bit, though. Had me nervous for a moment. Late hard slide. Momentum took him past the bag just a little bit.
For a big hit here from Overbay, get the Pirates on the board. Overbay hitting .294 with men in scoring position. Two home runs on the season, 13 ribbies for the veteran first baseman Lyle Overbay.
Corella is the master of the fake pickoff, isn't he?
Loves that.
Had about 4 up in the first. Now he's decided to try one out at second. There's some merit in that. You never throw one away when you do that.
Yeah. Count goes to 2-1 on Overbay. .34-year-old from Centralia, Washington, Lyle Overbay, facing the 36-year-old Japanese native Hiroki Kuroda.
Lack of communication there on that first set of signs. See another set. They're together.
Three and one.
Behind in the count. This is where things get a little dangerous for him. Oh, Lyle, get in one here. Outside.
2 on. It's walk number 3 allowed by Kuroda. Pitches thrown by this veteran right-hander. Faces Chris Snyder. Walked him in the second, struck him out looking in the fourth.
The Pirate pen is the one that got busy with that base on balls.
Rick Honeycutt is out talking with Kuroda. Like us on Facebook at Root Sports Pit, and you can stay connected with all our local teams and other passionate fans just like yourself. Let's go Bucks.
Been a whole lot for everyone to yell about right now, but
big hit away will change that, huh?
We got a situation here. We can find a foul line, throw one up a gap. 2 outs. Overbay will be off with the crack of the bat.
Oh, and 1. Kuroda's last time out against the Mets was 5 days ago in New York. Went 5 2/3, gave up 5 runs on 7 hits. And the Mets beat the Dodgers 6-3. Gets away.
Now it's just going to take a single.
Well, Paul had the very aggressive turnaround third.
I wonder if this was a mix-up. Yeah, he crossed him up. Looking breaking ball, got a fastball. He reached way out there to backhand that ball, and the ball actually came inside his glove and center punched his shin guard. Somebody got mixed up there with the signs.
Snyder 6 for 15 with men in scoring position.
Usually when there's a mix-up of the signs, though, there's a meeting at the mound right after that. Now I'm not so sure.
He did talk to him, though.
Oh, he did say something? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I can't believe he just whiffed on it.
1-2. Kuroda with 5 strikeouts, including the one of Snyder looking in the 4th. Jansen loosens in the bullpen. Kenley Jansen. One ball, 2 strikes on Snyder. He'll call time. Said he's 6 for 15 overall with men in scoring position. 4 for 11 with 2 outs in these situations. Two and 2. Kuroda won his first 2 starts against the Giants and Padres this year. Pitched 8 2/3 innings of shutout ball against San Diego in his second start. His other win was against the Cubs at Wrigley 3 starts back. Now Barajas going to go out to the mound to talk it over with him. One start against the Pirates last year for Kuroda. Gave up 1 run over 8 innings. That was at Dodger Stadium. Kuroda has been so tough against the Pirates. His last 4 starts versus Pittsburgh, an earned run average of 180. Shutting them out to this point. But Snyder a hit away, perhaps, from tying the game. Paul and Overbay aboard. Struck him out. Kuroda fans Snyder with 2 men in scoring position. Leaves them on base. Still 2-0 Dodgers. Four-game series, Dodgers Pirates at PNC Park. Dodgers lead this game 2-0, moving along here to the 7th. As we said earlier, it's a perfect night for baseball. Check out the game summary. Jerry Sands 1 for 2 with an RBI double. That double came in the 6th inning. Brought home Andre Ethier. Ivan DeJesus had scored the first run. Xavier Paul 1 for 3, the former Los Angeles Dodger. Hiroki Kuroda 6 innings, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, no runs. And now Daniel McCutchen takes over for Paul Mahalem. Once again, Mahalem gets just 2 runs of offensive support.
You see McCutchen's numbers. I don't want to sound like a broken record, Greg, but this game is still up for grabs. There's 9 more outs, even though we've done pretty much nothing with the bats to this point. Just got a couple of hits, and we're getting shut out. That can so easily turn around. I mean, we saw that inning there, a single. It's a tie ball game. So pressure now, McCutchen. He has to keep it right here. 2-run ball game. Give us a chance, because we are still very much right there.
Strike on Jamie Carroll. Fly ball to center field. McCutchen. That's Andrew as Daniel retires Jamie Carroll to start this 7th inning. Daniel McCutchen has been excellent out of this Pirates bullpen. Has not been charged with an earned run in his first 11 appearances.
You know, some people would say, well, he's found his niche, but you don't know. If he was starting every 5th day, he might be pitching just as well. But he is pitching out of the pen, and he's doing a great job of it. So might just leave well enough alone for a while.
And while Karstens is part of that rotation, Daniel McCutchen, here's the long man. DeJesus 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. One and 2. DeJesus recalled from AAA Albuquerque on April the 12th. Rafael Furcal was placed on the DL.
You know, one of the questions you always get as a pitcher, when you're talking to fans, they always want to know, who's your toughest out? Who's your toughest out? Who's your toughest out? After my rookie season, I always said Ivan DeJesus.
Was he?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know, but I remember he got a lot of hits off me. I don't know if that was in my career, but that first year, yes. But then after that, then I could just start saying, well, there's a whole bunch of guys I lost track of. But after the first year, I could actually pick one guy. It's his dad.
His father played from 1974 to 1988. Traded from the Dodgers in January of '77, along with Bill Buckner to the Cubs in that Rick Monday deal. Fly to right, 2 outs.
And somehow Bill got to Boston. Most people will always, I'm sure, think of Bill Buckner and the Boston Red Sox. Of course, the World Series.
The most overrated player I've ever seen. It's unbelievable. I can't wait to talk to Bill Buckner one of these days. Horrible.
What was the situation? I don't remember.
It was
now.
a tie game with a runner at second. There's no guarantee that the ball popped up, foul territory. Pedro Alvarez makes the catch. Nicely done. 1, 2, 3. We're going to keep it here in the 7th inning for baseball tradition of take me out to the ball game. But no guarantee, right?
No,
in a tie ball game, the Mookie Wilson scores on the error by Bill Buckner, but the game was tied at the time.
The thing I remember about it is I was hunting in Utah and trying to get it in on some old AM radio.
Moving along here to the bottom of the 7th inning. Here is his line. 93 pitches thrown.
There is somebody on the bullpen mound of the Dodgers right now before he throws his first pitch of the 7th. So could be on a leash.
That ball was crushed and foul. Alvarez hammered it.
He's getting closer. What did that hit? Did that hit?
Came back down
one of those little towers by the Pirate charity sign, or hit the Pepsi sign?
Pinball back onto the field of play. Oh, Alvarez sent that one a long way.
You know, that couldn't have been that far foul either. Right down the middle, and he mashed it. It was foul by a good 10 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, it hit the Pepsi sign.
The tower.
Hit the tower, yeah.
Would have cleared the seats.
That one was hit so hard. It would have had a shot, Greg, I think, maybe to make the water.
Yeah.
Because it was not coming down very fast. And it was on its way down, but the downward arc, it was still going to carry a while.
You know, Bob, we want Alvarez to be the guy that we all feel like. I mean, you never know for certain, but you feel like he is going to be that cleanup hitter in the Prince Fielder mold, Ryan Howard type. And we all want it to happen now, but it'll happen, at his pace. We have to be patient. When it comes around, it is going to be a lot of fun. We got a taste of it in September last year, but he's going to be one of those hitters in the middle of a lineup that every team is going to have to worry about.
There's been some great power hitters that have taken off right from their rookie season, but there also has been some great power hitters that, first year, even second year, they scuffled to try and get it figured out.
We documented that a lot last year with Stargell, almost at bat matching Alvarez's number of at bats with Stargell's, and that was the case with Captain Willie. Didn't miss by much, 3-2. Pirates' first round pick, the second overall choice in 2008. And smoked that one.
He's coming. He's coming.
Brandon Wood comes to the plate, and now we're going to check out the text to the booth question tonight. Bob, is a pitcher's mindset affected when a pivotal part of the offense, such as Walker, is out of the lineup? That from Brian on Root Sports. Talbot also the case tonight, out of the lineup.
You'd notice it when you first look at the lineup. Yeah, it jumps out at you. When one of the regulars aren't playing, sometimes a couple of them. But once the game starts, then you don't even think about it. Back in my days playing for Leland, it was not uncommon for him to start a number of his regular bench players on a Sunday afternoon game, for instance. And you just, learned that's the way it was going to be, and that's part of his managing style. And then after a while, you got to where you almost liked it. You wore it as a badge of honor. Hey, this is our day. We're going out there with the scrubs, and we're going to do some damage. And the scrubs usually played extremely hard.
Wood reaches out, a fly ball to center.
And I kind of looked at myself as one of the scrubs anyway. We had Cy Young Award winners, 20-game winners, like Smiley and Draybeck. So You know, I kind of thought
you're one of them.
Yeah, I was one of those bench guys. You know, so took a little pride in that. But you know, back to answer the question, yeah, it does affect you, but not really once the game starts. You just notice it when you're checking out the lineup.
Good question. 2 outs. Ronnie Cedeno is 0 for 2. Pirates with only 2 hits. It would appear Don Mattingly is looking to get maybe the last inning here, the last out of Kuroda. He's got 104 pitches. A little uncertainty in that end of the bullpen for the Dodgers these days. They've had their share of injuries this season. And of course, they've also had the off the field issues with McCourt issues. See, Matt Guerrier loosens. Vicente Padilla is the closer for now, with Broxton on the DL.
It's almost like the Dodger reputation is kind of sullied a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, they are, I guess there's a half dozen big league teams that have these great histories. I like to think the Pirates are one of them, and the Dodgers are certainly one of them. And it's kind of sad to see what they're going through there in Los Angeles right now with Major League Baseball. I guess not really taking over the club, but
about to.
But that's a possibility for sure. That could most definitely happen.
You're just
you know, and you know, that's kind of like what happened to the Expos. You know, this is the Dodgers. It's too bad.
By the way, news today that former Pirate team president and former president of the Padres, Dick Freeman, who was going to assist Tom Schieffer, who has been taken over as the kind of Dodgers trustee, he has basically been rescinded from that appointment because he had been involved with the court case for Jamie McCourt, and a base hit to left with 2 outs. Dick Freeman was advising Jamie McCourt, Frank McCourt's ex-wife, last year during their divorce proceedings. So more bad news for the Dodgers, as you see Ronnie Cedeno getting the hit, and now Clint Hurdle calls on Ryan Doumit to bat for McCutchen. Doumit's had some big home runs off the bench.
Yeah, this is kind of his part of the ball game, especially last year. I'm going to say 3 home runs, maybe 8th, 9th inning shots, extra innings, either tied or won games.
Big 3-run homer in the 8th inning as a right-hand batter on Sunday against the Astros, propelling the Pirates to victory. A career .347 average versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ryan Doumit this season, runners on, hitting .360. One ball, one strike. You get the impression this is it for Kuroda. Has to get Doumit, and maybe this is his last batter regardless.
I'm going to say regardless. That'd be my guess.
His career high in terms of pitches thrown in the States, 118. It was 3 years ago. He threw 117 pitches, his second start of the year against the Padres this season. He's approaching those marks. It's 112 coming up.
In the past, I wouldn't say that is all that many, but you know, nowadays I'm not real sure. But if you go back 30 years ago, to say 118 is the most you've thrown in 3 years, that would surprise most people.
He's now ahead of Dome at 1-2. 12,910, the announced paid attendance tonight. Bucks down 2. Big pitch here. And now time call. Dome at 1 for 8 in his career against Kuroda. One ball, 2 strikes. Down 2. Here in the 7th. And Kuroda got him. Well, Kuroda has done a fabulous job getting the strikeouts. The last 4 innings have ended with a K.
Check out tonight's the Home Depot doing more on defense. Well, you don't need much defense for strikeouts, do you? But there it is nonetheless. He had it going. Threw a lot of sliders tonight. There's one fastball upstairs, but most of them just like that. Chasing after the breaking balls down out of the zone. That was the defense that Kuroda needed tonight. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Congrats from his battery mate as Jose Veras takes over the 8th inning. Facing Kemp, Uribe, and Barajas. Daniel McCutchen a 1-2-3-7. Veras pitched on Monday night. Ended up a scoreless inning, but wild at times. Hit the first man he faced, Kemp. Threw a couple of pitches back to the backstop, and then it was the next hitter, Juan Uribe, who hit that ball that was trapped by Tabata that was called an out, a catch. Turned that into a double play. Strike.
There was certainly something going on with Veras. Well, at least for the first hitter. That control, he was all over the place. Pitches that couldn't even be stopped from going to the backstop. And until that hitter, his control had been excellent all year. And he was just wiping people out with all those strikeouts.
2-1 on Kemp. Playing in his 243rd consecutive game. That's the longest current streak in the major leagues. 243 straight for the center fielder Matt Kemp, who came into this ball game with the 7th best batting average in the league. Out of Midwest City, Oklahoma. 2-1 count. Falls behind 3-1. Kemp a Gold Glover 2 years ago. Last season his average dipped to 249. Beimel up in the pen. Three and two. Did he? No.
Ooh. That was a close one.
Take another look.
Watch ahead of the bat. I would say it was a good call. That was just close.
First base umpire said no. Kemp wouldn't even look up. Nope. We talked yesterday to Clint Hurdle about that. The fact that these Pirates catchers this year unquestionably are asking for appeals much quicker. And Hurdle said that that is something they addressed in spring training. As you have said often, Bob, why not? You don't get penalized for asking. He said we're always barking from the bench too. But you could see that both Snyder and Doman right away have been asking for these appeals.
If they had some rule to where, well, if you're wrong, then the next guy starts off ball one, well, then you have to be careful about it. But heck, if it's close, especially like that one there to Kemp, because that was real close. That was one that could go either way. You have to ask, and you got to do it real quick. You can't wait around. If you hesitate and 4 or 5 seconds go by, you hardly ever get an out call, strike call.
Quick throw over from Veras. Kemp 11 steals, caught 3 times.
Snyder looking over in the dugout to see if they want to put on a play, a pitch out, a pick off, step off.
Driven deep to center. McCutcheon back and with some room. Juan Uribe flies to the wall in center.
Did Uribe think he hit a home run, Greg?
By this reaction, I think so. He thought so.
He knew he hit it really well. I mean, it wasn't like he did a Sammy Sosa.
I can't believe that ball didn't go out. He is so upset as he was barking at first base coach Davey Lopes. Uribe, last year, had a career high in homers and RBIs, 24 dingers, 85 ribbies. Helped the Giants into the playoffs and World Series. Now
they're getting on him. They're getting on him about it in the dugout. They're saying, "Hey,
you're posing, man.
Thought you hit
been
that
gone.
Thought you hit that one, didn't you?" One of the baseball cliches over the years and years when that happens is somebody will always yell out, "Little man hit it."
There goes the runner. Pitch taken for a ball, and the throw not in time. A close play at second.
That was a great throw by Snyder, though. Beautiful. And I'll tell you what, that didn't get too far off the ground all the way down. He had something on that one. This is close. Watch this throw. Look at that. Right on the money. breaking ball down and away, and he made that toss. Great job. Umpire got it right, didn't he?
Two close calls with Kemp involved. The check swing, it went for ball 4, and the close play there, the Cedeno tag on the throw from Snyder.
Andy Fletcher on that call.
Think about some close plays in this game. Just witnessed 2 of them in this 8th inning involving Kemp. Think of the Xavier Paul hit that drove Ethier back to the wall in the 1st. Remember Alvarez just missing that long drive. It would have been very likely a home run in his first at bat. Remember the foul ball he hit in the 7th inning. Bucks within 2. Matt Kemp's 12 steals, 1 behind the league leader Michael Bourne of the Astros. (2-0) on Barajas. Bucks elected to walk Barajas intentionally in the 6th to face Jerry Sands. Barajas has been hot this series. 5 hits and 11 at bats. In the 4th inning, he sent Andrew McCutchen back to the wall. But Sands foiled that strategy with a double. He brought in a run in the 6th. Two count on this veteran backstop, Rod Barajas.
Barajas gets his swings. He goes up there looking to do something with that piece of wood in his hand. I got to think that he won't be able to check up on that breaking ball down and away.
See if that's what Snyder calls, and Veras delivers.
Gets it out there. I see a swing and a miss.
Oh man,
he did.
That wasn't Veras' best.
It was a little bit too far away, but still, I mean, I think he swings at this pitch. He's a very aggressive hitter. He held up. Yeah, it was looking at the replay, it was too far outside. He saw it was going to be a ball early enough to where he could throw the brakes on.
What about now?
I think we're going to go inside. Nope. Go pick off. That's what they're going to do. See, now he could, Bras could change his approach, but to me, when you see somebody hold up on something you think they should swing at, that means
that tells you
they're in that 2-strike approach.
Kemp takes off for 3rd, and it's a fly ball to right field. Big out for Veras.
It tells me they're sitting back, and you might be able to sneak a fastball by them.
Jim Leland and the Tigers come to town. First interleague series of the year here at PNC Park. Ross Ollendorf showing off the t-shirt that all fans get. Compliments of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. A free shirt Friday, May 20th. 7:05 start against the Tigers. Plus enjoy live music and festivities before the game on Federal Street during the Barrel Kia Block Party. For tickets, go to pirates.com/free shirt Friday. Big 3-game series against the Tigers. Jerry Sands takes breaking ball for a strike.
But here's why that's not always cut dry, though. The hitter can also think, wow, I laid off that. Now he's going to try and sneak a fastball by me, and he'll change his approach.
So there's that cat and mouse.
And be waiting to trap that inside fastball.
He's ahead of Jerry Sands, 0-2. Breaking ball, fastball. And now ahead of the rookie, 0-2 is Jerry Sands, whom the Dodgers called up from the minor leagues April the 18th. And to make room, they had to take Xavier Paul off the roster. Designated him for assignment. so that Sands could join the big league club. And Barris gets the strikeout. And keeps the Dodgers off the board in the top of the 8th, and it's the top of the Pirates batting order. We head to the bottom of the 8th, down 2 to the Dodgers. Actually, make it plural. A 2-homer night for Andrew McCutchen last night against the Dodgers. Home runs numbers 6 and 7. Going deep twice last night. Cold hard blasts brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And he will lead off against Matt Guerrier.
So Guerrier's numbers on the year, long-time Minnesota Twin. Is way up in games pitched Twins history.
A couple of other changes, by the way. James Loney taking over at first. Aaron Miles at second. James Loney. Guerrier faced just one batter last night. He struck out Xavier Paul as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning last night.
Wow.
See what McCutchen thought of that, huh?
I agree. I'd shake my head too. But you know, you got a strike left. Make it count. Running out of time. Comes a slider.
He offered McCutchen. Nope, didn't get far away. That ball looked like it might head toward the dugout a little bit further.
He's mad at two things here. He's mad at the strike 2 call, and he's mad that he got called out on a check swing without getting help. It was the plate umpire that called that check swing out, and that's why he was upset. But I think he went. He flipped the bat over his shoulder in disgust. I'm sure the home plate umpire didn't like that, but McCutchen didn't like the call.
Xavier Paul tonight 1 for 3 with a stolen base. And a pop up. Left fielder Sands. 2 down in the 8th. Matt Guerrier, the former Pirate farmhand, spent the 02 and 03 seasons pitching AAA ball for the then Pirates top farm club, Nashville Sounds, was a starter. The Bucks got him from the White Sox in the Damaso Marte deal before the 02 season. He was let go, and the Twins picked him up, and he's fashioned a fine career out of the bullpen. And another former Twin product, Garrett Jones at the plate. A couple of strikeouts and a walk against Kuroda, who gave up 3 hits, no runs, walked 3, struck out 7. Jones and Guerrier were teammates briefly in 2007 when Garrett Jones was called up to the big leagues for the first time. He appeared in only 31 games for the Twins that year. And that is a fair ball, and Loney, fine defensive first baseman. A good looking play there to retire Garrett Jones. And the Bucks go down in order through 8, 2-0 Dodgers. Just some fabulous looks from the AGH camp. One more game tomorrow night, then the Pirates will wave goodbye and head on the road for a time.
Great city trip. Start things off in Brewer country.
Milwaukee, Washington, D.C., and Cincinnati. And as we mentioned, back home a week from this Friday to take on the Tigers for 3, and then the Braves for a brief 2-game set. 5-game homestand that'll conclude the May home schedule. Joe Beimel, 2/3 of an inning on Monday night against his former club. Aaron Miles, first at bat. Rolled to the shortstop, Wood. Root Sports Watch for you tomorrow, 6:30. And then on the road, Miller Park, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, against the Brew Crew. Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon.
How about that? A Saturday afternoon game. It's kind of nice. A lot of fun.
It's really hard not to look forward to that series, for us anyway, because the Pirates you have to believe, are a better club this season, and hopefully better things in store for the Pirates when they take on those Brewers in Milwaukee. It has been a tough place over the years for the Pirates, as Beimel retires the first 2 hitters.
Yeah, that could be a nice test to see exactly how much better on the road we are. We've been fantastic on the road so far. Okay. Let's take it into Milwaukee, though. It's been a tough place.
Carroll 0 for 4. 3 at bats against Mahalam. Flied out against McCutchen. Bucks have Overbay, Snyder, Alvarez due up.
Carroll's gloves look like something you should use in the garden. Nothing? They don't look like a typical batting glove. Should be pulling weeds or something. Look like work gloves.
He's working.
Remember Al Monchak used to actually wear the leather work gloves.
I had forgotten
to hit
right.
fungos with. Wouldn't use batting gloves. The old fashioned, just like you'd wear if you're working over a shovel.
I had forgotten that. You're right.
Al Monchak. He used to have extra big pockets sewn in the back of his uniform too. He'd carry about a dozen baseballs with him at one time.
One ball, 2 strikes on Jamie Carroll. Paul Mahalam on the hook for this one, giving up just 2 runs in 6 innings on 5 hits.
A spoiler swing, just trying to stay alive. Thought it was too close to take.
So Vicente Padilla loosening. As we said, some uncertainty in this Dodgers bullpen. Veteran Padilla. The Dodgers earned run average out of the pen, 522. Only the Houston Astros have a higher team ERA for relievers.
Am I remembering correctly, or wasn't that a problem with the Dodgers last year?
Yeah, Broxton was really having some trouble.
Bad bullpen numbers. I mean, their whole pen as a whole, just, if I remember right, had some struggles.
Still 2-2 on Carroll. Carroll had 3 hits last night. He and Miles combined for a 6-hit night. Four years with the Montreal Washington franchise, 2 years with the Rockies, 2 years in Cleveland. Second year now with the Dodgers. Bounce to Alvarez. And over to first. All right, here we go. Bottom of the 9th inning. Down 2. Lyle Overbay will lead things off for the Buccos against Vicente Padilla. He'll be followed by Chris Snyder and Pedro Alvarez. A late inning drama in store for this crowd here at PNC Park. You'd like to get a man on for Pedro Alvarez, wouldn't you?
You'd love to, but one thing that has happened this year, there's been some games where we haven't gotten a lot of hits, but the hits that we have gotten, they've bunched them together. Let's hope that's going to happen tonight. Get 4 or 5 right here this inning and send everybody home happy.
Vicente Padilla, the veteran right-hander, going to come out and try and close it out. Tony Gwynn Jr. takes over defensively in left. Padilla, who's held just about every role imaginable in his career. Look at his numbers on the season. Padilla's second year with the Dodgers. Part of the 09 season with Los Angeles. 33-year-old Nicaraguan native Vicente Padilla faces Lyle Overbay to start things off.
Yeah, we need a base runner, obviously. You might not necessarily be taking a strike, but if you're going to swing before you have strike one, you got to make sure it is a pitch you want to hit. Got to have a good part of the strike zone. Be patient. I think Lyle was taking a strike. The reason you do that is you have to have the base runner, like I said, and if he's going to fall behind you, you get a shot at a base on balls. You have to let him have the opportunity to do that.
Overbay just 5 hits and 27 career at bats against Padilla. One and two. Padilla's career ERA versus Pittsburgh is high, 6.82. This is his 9th career appearance against the Bucks.
Looks like he's trying to work Overbay upstairs. Not anything down to him yet. That's his last couple for sure. If it goes downstairs, probably be an off-speed pitch. Here comes a hook. Did it hit him? Should have come up hopping it. How close did this come to a foot? It just got over the back foot, barely.
Padilla activated off the disabled list recently. Missed the first 20 games, recovering from forearm surgery underwent in spring training. Strikes out Overbay to start the bottom of the 9th.
Went back up.
In case you missed it around the big leagues, Hunter Pence had a walk-off double in the 9th to beat the Reds down in Houston. 3 walk-off wins this year for the Astros. Giovanni Soto, the catcher for the Cubs, has been placed on the disabled list. Robinson Cano hit in the head by a pitch thrown by Nathan Adcock. 93-mile-per-hour fastball left the game. Grady Sizemore underwent an MRI on his right knee today. Fingers crossed if you're an Indians fan. Chris Snyder has walked and struck out twice. And 1-1.
A good approaches by both Overbay and Snyder. Not going to help him out at all. Both of them taking that first strike.
wide, but Loney handles it. Bucks down to their final out.
Loney doing a good job over there since been put on for defense. A couple nice defensive plays. Well, we'd sure like to have somebody on for Pedro, the way he has centered up some balls tonight. But now he's going to be the table setter. He's the one that's got to get on base.
Ball one. One ball, no strikes. And now the count even. Padilla trying to save it for Kuroda. A strike is called. Alvarez thought that was low.
Definitely looked borderline at least. Take a look at the strike zone. Where's it hit? Strike zone says strike.
1-2 now. Still alive. Kuroda would improve to 4-3. Padilla trying to earn save number 3, while Mahalam would drop to 1-5. Hard luck 1-5. Toward the gap in right center. Boy, he does seem to be on it now, doesn't he? Pedro Alvarez into second base. He has had some really good at bats in this series, and in particular in this game. Tying run will come to the plate in the person of Brandon Wood.
Got a ball looked like on the inside half and turned on it. Put it into the gap. That is a good sign. Two out Lightning.
Brandon Wood 2 for 4 in his career against Padilla. Tonight 1 for 3. Down 2. Bottom of the 9th. Ball 1. Matt Diaz out on deck to bat for Cedeno should Wood reach. Ball 2.
Wood's job is a little different than the first 3 guys. If he sees something he likes 2-0, he's going to look for a certain pitch in a certain spot, and he needs to drive it hard. He's got to be thinking extra bases or even better. You don't want that one. That definitely wasn't a pitch to hit 2-0. Looked like it barely caught the outside part of the plate. Wasn't what he was looking for.
Two and 1. Out back the fastball.
Rally hat.
Bucko faithful hanging in there. Down 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. And that's it. Padilla gets the save, striking out Brandon Wood with Alvarez at second. And the Buccos are blanked here in the 3rd game of this 4-game series, Bob.
No, Greg, the Pirates have got off to a good start this year, mainly on real good pitching, starting pitching, doing the job. This offense got to get going here soon. Got to start pulling their weight. Just 4 hits, no runs tonight. Not good enough.
Bucks shut out for the 4th time this season, and the finale of the series is tomorrow night. Stick around. Post game coming up next with Robin Teague.